Welcome, and Tony, thank you for being first in the door today. We're back, day 7, not in a row, day 7 in general. I can't be here Fridays, but I should have retitled this live stream. So a better title for today would have been how to start 2023 off with an extra $100. I'll tell you how that could have happened. If you had bet me yesterday $100 that when I got here today, the place would not be packed, I would have bet you. I figured right now I need to hurry up and get here a little bit early because I'll never get a treadmill. And I might have been waiting half an hour. And it is not the case. I have not seen less people in the gym at this time out of the 7 days we've been at this. So I would have lost. Thank goodness. I always say the words I bet, and I almost never bet. Almost never. Usually never, but I've lost $100 at least once, if not twice. And if Donald Trump never spends a second behind bars between now and December 31st, 2023, I'll win $100. That must be it, Travel Fun 69. It must be all the home gym equipment, especially after Christmas. Maybe people got a bunch of that stuff. I am amazed. And, you know, not that I'm making fun. Oh, goodness. Oh, almost got my towel dropped into the belt here. I've only been at this for 7 days. Check in with me next year and see if it's been 358 more. Jaden, my dear friend, good to see you in the house. And Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve, good to see you here. Oh, thank you, Michael's Adventures. He's been a dear friend for a long, long time and always supports as much as he can. Not Jeff. I owe you $1. I'm not allowed to have towel service here. You know what's funny? So I'm not gonna throw anybody under the bus here. I don't even remember the guy's name anyway. But one of the guys here, I walked in one day and we have these things. So you put your thing in front of the LED thing and it opens the door for you. And I guess what happens is that the computer at the front desk, which is right beside where you do that, has your picture and your name and everything else. And I swear this is a true story. The guy stops me. He goes, Kevin, you know you don't have towel service. I'm gonna let it go this time, but I'm gonna make sure everybody knows that you do not get towel service. And I'm like, my dear goodness, are you serious? So anyway, I upgraded my membership to the next level. I said, let's upgrade it to the next level. And I should have looked at the website, but I didn't. So now I've upgraded. It's another, whatever, $5 or $10 a month. And I can use any gym in the series, in the province or in the area or whatever. Still no towel service. So I stole one of Jeff's towels. That's Travel Fun 69. And now I have towel service. Antoinette at Fun, it's good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. You know, it was one of the best promotions I ever saw was a company called Money Mart. And what it is in Canada is this place where you can go and borrow money really fast at like loan shark rates, right? And it's completely legitimate, which kind of amazes me, but it's something that's really grown over the last 20 or 30 years. Anyway, so they have pens, and I've seen these pens around, and what happens is the pen says, this pen was stolen from Money Mart. And I'm like, that is amazing, because no company cares if their pens are stolen. That's like half the promotion. They know people take pens. I thought that was so brilliant and funny. So for instance, I'm assuming that most big name gyms I'm in Canada, of course, but most big name gyms probably have towels with their logos on them if they give you towel service. So, pardon me, if I was working, or if I own the gym, right, then I would basically want people to steal as many towels as possible so that the name gets out there. Because you know that people take towels, of course they do. But it's something else, and you just build that into your price. Because let's say somebody takes, let's say a towel costs $10. They don't, but let's just say they did, right? And somebody takes 2 towels a year. So you raise your monthly membership price from $50 a month to $51 a month. Now you've even profited after losing the extra 2 towels and your marketing's out there. There you go. Yeah, this pen was stolen from. It's a brilliant idea. You know, people are going to take things. Restaurants could do it. You know, I'm not saying I would advise it in every situation, because you don't want a restaurant to start losing all their dishes and things like that. But in a place like a gym, you'll get 1 or 2 people that will like hoard and steal towels every time they're here. Most people won't take them at all, but a few people will take them. And my guess would be that it'll be funny to show, like, oh, look at all my towels from the gym. But either way, they'll end up in other people's hands. One of the ideas that I had to promote a nightclub, for instance, would be if you are somewhere where there's a beach. We have a really popular beach in my area called Wasaga. And if you've watched any of the videos on my channel, you've probably seen some flight lessons where I've flown over that beach. And so it's a really popular area, especially in the summer, of course, but there's lots of bars and restaurants and stuff like this. What somebody could do is print towels, big, huge beach towels, right, with your logos and stuff. It would cost a few dollars. But you could go print 100 of these things. And somebody could go out at 6 in the morning and lay them all out on the beach, randomly, all the way across the public area, knowing that people will take them home. People who will come and want to buy towels will do that when they're there. And some people even buy 2 of everything because they want one that they use and one that they keep nice. Let's say as a collector item or something like that. Not saying it's a good idea, just saying it is an idea. Tell you how I could have got in a real mess. Somebody asked me about a bar up in that area the summer before the pandemic started. So I'm losing track of what year it was now, summer of 2018 or 19 or whatever it was. Anyway, so they were like, we're gonna take over one of these bars starting next summer, and we'll open in whatever it is, May. We have a special weekend we call the May 2-4 weekend. It's our big weekend is 1 weekend before the American holiday. Anyway, so we could open this place up. The biggest problem that they would have had bringing me in as a manager again is I would have ordered thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of t-shirts, beach towels, beach balls, shot glasses, all the kind of stuff that they'd be able to sell all day and afternoon in these places. And it would have sat in a storage locker and been completely useless. So I don't know if that was God looking out for all of us or not. Not to mention the pandemic starting. And I've been out of the nightclub and bar game for a long time. Club Med had nice towels, interesting. But thank you everybody for coming in, because you make it easier for me, first of all, to keep it up. Secondly, to show up, right? So I got a little bit frustrated yesterday and the day before, I have to be honest with you. Even with the idea of doing this and not pushing, we're just here to walk. Doctor says I gotta walk, so I'm walking, right? But it's hard for me not to want to step it up. And this is what I talked about in the first couple of days. By doing the littlest bit, it's going to make you want to do a little bit more. So today, whether I'm sweating and can't talk half an hour from now and everything else, I had to step it up at least 1 point of a mile an hour or whatever it is. I still got to find out if these are set on kilometers or miles, because this doesn't feel like I think it should. I'm on 2.4 today, but I've been doing 2.3 for a couple of days now without stepping it up. So for the next week or two, you might have to, if you happen to be able to make it in, you might have to hear me huffing and puffing and sweating and everything else. But a month from now, we won't be doing that anymore. Stock Explorer, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. One of the ideas with setting the times for the streams is to set them a little bit later than I think I can make it, just in case I'm late. But then you could go on anytime. You could set your stream in advance and you can hop on anytime at all. Today I just waited for the 30-minute notifications to go out. But I showed up here earlier than I wanted to, thinking it was going to be packed and I wouldn't get a treadmill. So you can mark this day on your calendar as proof when I say I'm not always right. I don't necessarily think I am. Oh, just add a minute instead of making it harder every time. That's true. But yeah, good times, Homestead. You're absolutely right. I sure could. Look at me go. I remembered a towel. I remembered water. I even have Kleenex if I need it. You'd almost think that I'd done this before. She stole my thunder. Fellow Canadian, Happy New Year to you. Oh, thank you, Jaden. Yeah, so a year ago or somewhere thereabouts, I was interviewed by Have Cheetah Will View. And I haven't done a lot of interviews for a long time. And Scratch and PPA, thank you for coming in. Especially today. I really extra appreciate that. I hadn't done a lot of interviews for a long time. And I want to get back into a lot of these. Collaborating with other creators on YouTube is a great way to grow your channel, your audience, and everything else. So a year ago, I was with Have Cheetah Will View on his channel, and I recently did one interview with Crocheting with Leanne. And Stock Explorer, and I've talked about that as well. Maybe I should hit the Stock Explorer up for next weekend. But a few people have asked, and this has been a record year for outdoor work, the things that I do, and I took on another project and really filled the plate a little too much for the last few months. So I've been not doing a lot of them, but I've only got a few months, so I got to get them in now. And I'm hopefully going to be able to get more of these anyway. So Have Cheetah Will View. I will be on his channel on Sunday. You'll notice he's the featured channel of the day. The next 4 streams for Tuber Chat are set up, including today, which is at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then it'll be interesting because he did a really thoughtful and considerate job the last time that I was on his channel talking to him, because he didn't ask a lot of the typical things that people seem to when I'm on their channels, which is fine. You guys know me, I can talk endlessly and I love this stuff. I don't mind talking about the same things 100 times, right? But Have Cheetah Will View took a different approach. So you can go back and see that if you wanted to. And it's on his channel if you just search out Tuber Chat or search out Kevin Kaye. Via Speaks Royally, good to see you here. Peter Dell from Australia, good to have you in the house. So that'll be Sunday right after Tuber Chat. And then Stock Explorer and I might have a conversation lined up, hopefully a little bit later than today. talking about a few other things. I like when other people are willing to share ideas or knowledge and stuff with me, both for my own channels, but then as well to spread that knowledge around, right? Help others. But I'm hoping to get into a lot more of that when you collaborate with somebody else, especially when we talk about an official interview. It's one thing to hop on somebody's StreamYard panel. You usually get a little bit of attention there. But if you plan an interview and have them promote it for, let's say, at least a week, then you can really gain a good handful of subscribers all from one thing. Because, you know, anybody on somebody's channel is going to say, hey, who's that, if they don't already know them. So I find that I always gain something by being on somebody else's channel, but you're really helping them. I look at it as a generous thing to do for somebody else because you're sharing knowledge and changing the context of the content on their channel, if that makes sense. Oh yeah, no, Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve. So most of the stuff is just from, you know, we've done over 500 streams. So let's say I talk about swapping playlists or giving the thumbs up. I've literally said those things all but 2,000 times, right? So well over 1,000 anyway. So it's that, those are all by memory. An idea that I have, and maybe in the next few months I'll get that done, is to pre-record cuts of that stuff that are well produced and play them during the stream so that I essentially don't have to say them over and over and again, but can have a better produced show and a lot more clear instruction. One of the things, for instance, is to have a clip of how we connect. So, you know, if you want to connect, my suggestion is that we head to somebody else's channel after starting a conversation with them. And you can see what I mean. When I'm thinking about it now and not in the flow, I'm tripping over my words like anybody would, right? And the idea then would be to have a well-produced clip or video or shorts. What I might do is like shorts of those clips on my personal channel, but still run them in TubeChat, because I'm not going to copyright strike myself, right? And I could always reproduce them. So if you wanted to multi-purpose content like that, you could always film either with two cameras, so you have one vertical and one horizontal, or if you're limited to one camera, you just stand farther away like this, and then you could see how somebody would be able to frame a short out of the same exact video clip. So it's an idea, and I'll think about those. But thank you for asking that, Good Times Homestead. The eye of the tiger, it could be Peter Dell. Yes, I definitely want to step up the video production. And, you know, we're all limited when we start. So I've been very lucky that I work on a computer. I'm a big fan of Mac, and I happen to have been working on a Mac for many years. So that's great. But I recently upgraded equipment. So I went through one upgrade a year ago, and that computer, even brand new, still wasn't able to handle some of what I need. Now I've got a really nice beefy computer. So I bought a MacBook Pro 13-inch that's an M2 chip, which is the brand newest one, with 24 gigs of RAM. So that thing should be a mini beast and able to handle all the stuff. But this has been an unbelievable year for being busy for me. It's not just work, and I'm no busier than everybody else. We all have the same 24 hours in a day, so I don't want to make it sound like that. It's just that I tend to fill my plate. Every time something drops off, I look for something to replace it. And sometimes I'm thinking maybe I shouldn't go so hard in that way. But I hope to do that. Sam's Watch Trains and More, thank you for being here. So hopefully this is something to happen in the new year, killing two birds with one stone, would be making the videos that I've been yapping about for 2.5 years, finally get them up when we've been here for 3 years, so that Tuber Chat has really clear and concise how-to videos. Not as much concept to say like, hey, I'm just telling you the fundamentals, nothing like that, but literally, this is exactly how we do it, this is why it's important, and this is how it can help you, right? The things that we've learned, the things that we've been through, some of the stuff's been the same the whole time. And I can update them as it changes. And then, like I said, make some shorts videos of some of the same things that I repeat over and over and over again, but in a clear, concise way, well produced, so that I can have even more breaks in Tuber Chat, let's just say, from talking. And I don't know if I want to talk about the idea of extending the streams to 3 hours, but I'm up against a bit of a wall right now, where there's been a couple of times lately where it's been difficult to cut after 2.5 hours. But that would certainly help. So we'll see. Yes, I know Sam's Vlogs trains him more. Yeah, now I have the time. I've been talking about the idea we've got an unboxing and review area set up now where I work, and we just have to like get filming and light it so that we can be 100%, but that'll only take a few days. So I brought a bunch of stuff with me to film this week, and then of course, because there's a holiday, what happened is the company I have to order the table from was closed yesterday. Now I ordered it anyway. If it wasn't closed for a holiday, we would have got the table today. It looks like we're probably gonna get it tomorrow. So either way, as soon as it gets here, if possible, I'll do a video of putting the table together. How useful that will be for the general audience, I don't know, but for people who order the same table, which nobody will online, but if you were living close to where I am or close to one of the warehouses from the company that I'm ordering from, you could. But it's you'll see what I mean when it comes. But anyway, by the end of this week I should have a video filmed, and if I'm ambitious enough, might even get something out this weekend. Probably not, probably next weekend, because you know that I always say it's better to upload and let it percolate in the algorithm for a little while first. So a week's a good target, but we'll see. Kristen Welton, good to see you in the house. Thank you for coming in. Kristen got me another webcam, just like the one I usually use. So for those of you who've seen me do a live stream and the webcam keeps changing all the time and I can't get that green screen the way I want it, now Kristen got me another webcam so I don't accidentally leave it anywhere. Certainly it won't get broken if I'm not carting it back and forth and things like that. So that should help as well. And hopefully I'm not missing anybody in the chat, but thank you everybody for coming in. Kristen, my love. Like I said, I scheduled these out a little bit later than I think I'm gonna be here. And then you could go on any time. One of the things I think that caused a problem when I did the first couple was moving the streams too close to start time. And that made them not connect properly. So it's an idea. Always plan later and then you can go on anytime, like I said, or I just waited. I was here like for 5 extra minutes, but I waited for the 30-minute notifications to go out if they did, and then just went on. But again, thank you everybody for coming in, because you're making it easier for me to keep this up. And you know, I look forward to showing up. Look forward to the stream. Hopefully everybody's new year is off to a good start. I know it's early. I'm happy I finally stepped up the treadmill, so we're at 2.4 today instead of 2.3. It looks like it's not going to be too detrimental. Tony, thanks for hanging out. Tony was first in the door today. He's been here every day. So thank you for that. I really do appreciate that. Of course, I appreciate every moment everybody can spend. You know, we only have as much time in the day as we do. And, you know, same goes for myself. I try to be out there as much as I can. Nora, I'm assuming that you're not going on today then. Because we talked about tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to try to line it up so that I can go live here and raid into the Stock Explorer. That's Nora. And Nora is a moderator on the Tuber Chat channel now. What yard panels and things like that. And pardon me while I hopefully fix my thing here. We're gonna lose it. Come on now. I love OtterBox, eh? Like those things are just amazing. This is a knockoff. Something I got for 15 bucks from somebody at the mall doing their thing. But I drop my phone as much as anybody else and it keeps it nice, so thank goodness. Yeah, leave a message in the chat. Yeah, please refresh if it's buffering, if you can still hear it. Hopefully we're back. And I forgot to turn the Wi-Fi off. I don't think the Wi-Fi is connected here because they're probably not going to have one that's strong enough to stream. They actually, I don't need to because I've got enough data and this and that. But one of the things they put on the signs around here is please don't use things like Netflix. Like you're not allowed to use video, let's say. They don't want everybody watching Netflix at the same time. You could imagine, what are you going to do if you get 50, 100 people in here all hammering the internet? But you can use it for audio. So if you're going to listen to Spotify or Apple Music or Google Music for that matter. Okay, yeah, thank you everybody. These things, man, you got to remember every single thing. What's up with the keys? I'm using the keys to hold the phone because it doesn't have it's not proper the way I'm holding this phone. Here, why don't I show you what I'm doing? See if I can. There's the machine. So I put my phone on this thing. It's got a ancient iPod connector on it. You could have hooked that up to the little TV, right? And the keys just help because you can see the phone won't stand up by itself without it. Thanks everybody for your patience there. And I do appreciate everybody hanging out for the riveting entertainment I'm providing today. But at least we're here. So thank you everybody again. Because the point is to walk. The stream is supposed to be secondary, but it's what I look forward to more so. But it keeps me going, that's for sure. Ancient aliens technology it is. Sam's making me laugh. And oh, another launch. Interesting. Maybe I'll catch that after if there's still time. I've been on for 30 minutes now, so another half an hour. And literally where I'm staying is 2 minutes away from the gym. So I might be able to hop on. Oh, thank you, Tony. Yeah, I do the same thing. So as well, as soon as I get the area set up and all that, I'll expect to do a behind the scenes photo to kind of show how the setup is for, let's say, Tuber Chat, for instance, right? And you'll see my dual screen setup and everything. But I try to utilize everything all the time. So I have one screen on my left when I'm working on the computer that will have usually 4 tabs open. I use Firefox so they fit even on a monitor that's not 4K, and I can run 4 streams at a time. Or sometimes if I'm running a playlist or videos in any way, then I will have 3 streams running in a playlist window. Hopefully I don't get copyright. It doesn't matter on these things. I don't wish for copyrights. This Lizzo's killing it, eh? For those of you who know that artist. But even this song, To Be Loved, that's in the background, I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. Now that I've had to keep up on better music or newer music over the last half a year, 4 months, 5 months, whatever it is, then I've had to hear a lot of this stuff, not to mention play it on Friday nights when I'm out doing that thing. We're off for a month, but we'll see. I might be going back, but I don't know. But this is a song I gotta play all the time, but I like it actually. No, Jaden, I'm at Jeff's place for today. So today, Tuber Chat will be at 6. Thursdays is set for 2. I might have to move it. I'm going to try to keep it, because one of the things is we do have quite a few people who come in from the UK, like Sam, and I want to try to accommodate as best I can. I don't want all the streams to be, at midnight for them or 11 p.m. So I want to try to get a few in the early afternoon. What I'm really doing now is following the analytics. So Tuber Chat's analytics tell me that Tuesday, 6 p.m. is the best time, even though typically we hadn't done Tuesdays before. So there's not like 2 or 3 different good times, right? Whereas on Thursday, 2 p.m. is a good time for me, and 6 p.m. is a good time for me. So we'll try for 2 on Thursday. I'm glad to see Streamlabs is on the case. I don't think we've seen Stream Elements yet. I'm trying to get these robots working. So there's a couple things with that. If you're using these robots, and I use 4 of them, they tend to, for no reason, disconnect. So every couple of months, or I would recommend once a month, you've got to log into each one and almost disconnect it and reconnect it yourself, just to keep them up and running. I don't know why the Stream Elements one doesn't seem to want to hop in. But you can save your moderators a lot of work by putting those robots in, right? I don't need moderators to have to drop Instagram and Twitter links constantly. It's not that important. It's just nice for people in the chat to know that you have them, and keeps the chat flowing. One of the things I wonder if I could do sometime in the future is come up with a system, because I'm a web developer and app developer, but amateur, not amateur, but whatever's just beyond amateur, right? And what I might be able to do is get a system happening where, let's say, news headlines come in, or topical things for the day, into what they call an RSS feed. And then that would feed into the chat by Nightbot or somebody, so that you could have topical things to keep the chat going when you're doing just a general live stream like this, where there's no particular conversation planned. Brother of a certain age, good to see you here. Thanks for coming in. Oh, something's going on with my phone. What is the problem now? Why? Why when I sit it up does it go off camera? For no reason. Pardon me for that. And then thank you, Sam. Oh, the flipped camera. Oh, I didn't realize. Yeah, it's backwards. I wondered about that. Yeah, you gotta change that setting, right? Gotta try to remember. Hey Siri, remind me today at noon to flip the camera. and I'll get in and hopefully have that fixed for tomorrow. I didn't realize that, but thank you, Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve. I've been looking at it for half an hour. And then thank you, Kristen. Interesting, I'm gonna have to look that up, Tony. Kiffness? The kiffness. Hey Siri, remind me at noon to look up the kiffness. I forgot to start my workout too. Doesn't matter. Apple will grab the steps for today. It'll be interesting to see how it increases with just the little tiny amount of pumping up of the treadmill. I'm really not sweating too bad, but actually, now that I think of it, so they got fans here. That's what's helping. When I'm at home, I'm gonna have to set up a fan beside the treadmill just so that I don't sweat like I was yesterday. Oh, I see what you mean, Good Times Homestead. Yeah, I also... Oh, you're right, too. Oh, that's the weirdest thing. When I look at the camera that I'm filming from, and I look at the stream has the t-shirt going the right way, and the camera in front of me. I was mistaken for a second. Look at that, twice in one day, I'm wrong. Yeah, I forgot about that. So that's why yesterday was so much. And even the other day I was at another gym and they had not had fans in the area where I was. It was a little bit warmer. Interesting. You can see I haven't been at this for a while. It's been, I don't know, I guess 2 years. I used to come every day. And even if it was just for the treadmill, used to do a little bit of weights and stuff like that, but not much. In the summers, you could tell that this year, even though it was a record year for the amount of work we did, the work wasn't as hard because at the end of the summer, you can see a little bit of, just the tiniest bit of bicep in the arm. Last year, I had a little bit. You can notice it, but not this year. But we'll see. We'll see how the motivation goes with this bid that we're doing right now. I've considered personal training, so we'll think about that. Hope Bus has reached out. They're a neighbor. They're only half an hour away or something. I might go see what it's like to do some resistance training with Hope Bus or yoga, because she does that too, which I've never done. But we'll see. And then other than that, we'll see how the next couple of months go, but maybe I think I would like to get some personal training here at this place. I think it's like $75 for half an hour, either half an hour or an hour, but it's something else. Now, I tried it. When I first came to this place, I got personal training, just 3 sessions, and I forget, I think it was $75 a shot or something. They give you a deal because you buy them in packages. I said, okay, if you have somebody that will make YouTube videos while we do the training, then I'll get it. So I got it. They said, yeah, we got a guy that'll do video or whatever. All the guy did the whole time was say, you see, Kevin, this is why you need permanent personal training. You should be doing this 4 days a week. I'm like, okay, dude, please listen to me. I haven't been to a gym in 10 years. And you want me to spend $800 a month on personal training? You're not listening to yourself. If some people do it, good for them. I don't know how to go from 0 to 100 like that. And I sure am not betting money on it. But building up so that eventually maybe we'll do that. It'd be wonderful. Oh yeah, it will for sure, the Stock Explorer. I don't imagine that I will actually film weightlifting and stuff like that, because I think that's better served with people who are professional or already fit, more so than somebody like myself who Obviously, if I start today, I'm gonna have bad form. It's kind of gonna like almost invite trolling, you know, but we'll see. This is different because here I can talk, and then, you know, we can almost discuss. I know it's me talking, but we can almost discuss anything at all. And you see, like, for those of you who've been here more than once, every day is different conversation. We might touch on the same ideas, but you know, that I find interesting as well. So Streamlabs is doing its thing, and I've got those set a little bit tight. So in those messages that the robots drop in the chat, they're called timers, because after a certain amount of time it drops a message, and you can have lists of messages. Stream Elements does the best job because the messages don't run into each other like the, what is it, Facebook and TikTok just did. Oh, that makes sense, Tony. Yes, that makes sense. That's why I'm not too upset about the not being able to come on Fridays thing. When I'm at the place that I am for the most amount of time on Friday, I will see if it's possible for me to be able to do this there. If not, then okay, no Fridays and that's it, and hopefully I'll just keep it up the other 6 days of the week. But there's no excuse. I drive a truck with 4x4. Even though I live in Canada, I can get here. So we'll see. But you guys are really helping me because I look forward to the stream more so than the treadmill itself, of course. And then now we're back in full-on work mode. So the idea starting today is to get to 50 videos a day, not including live streams, so that I can be supporting potentially 350 creators a week. Now I'm lucky because I'm able to work on a computer, and my job includes, especially in the winter, it's all online. So mostly YouTube, but also some eBay and Amazon stuff. It used to be Kijiji before that fell apart, but that's, you know, pandemic stuff. And then because I'm on the computer all the time, I'll be able to have a window open with all that stuff. And it really only takes half an hour to set up a playlist of videos. And this is one of the reasons, for those of you who are in the Tuber Chat community, this is why I use Bottissimo, why I love it so much, and why I'm so adamant about always watching the statistics. So I keep stats for every single stream on Tuber Chat, not here, but for who's there and how long they've been there, how many messages, and all the stuff that Bottissimo provides. So then I know who the biggest supporters are, and I can go through their stuff in order, right? Scratch and PPA is always at the top. Moderators are always close to the top. But there's a lot of people, like Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve, would be included every week, you know, for the somewhere between 400 and 500 channels, 300 or 400 channels that come through Tuber Chat. Some of it I'd go back and get some people who haven't been around for a while as well. Try to like spread the love, if you want to call it that. But you could. Requirement, yeah. You know, I bought one a long time ago, so I've had my truck for almost 10 years now. But I drive it like a baby, so it is in perfect condition. It drives like day one today. I just had it tuned up, actually. I'm about to hit 300,000 kilometers on it. I'm going to try to film that when it happens. But one of the things, you know, about Canada, I'm getting older, so I don't like the frustration that comes along with shoveling the car out and stuff like that. Now, 10 years ago, it might not have been the best idea in the world that I bought that truck, But I did it knowing that I would keep the truck for probably at least 20 years. The idea is hopefully we'll have it forever if I can keep it in good shape. And that way, as my family grows, we will all be able to use it to move stuff around or tow stuff around or whatever if it needs be. I did try to buy a car last year and they couldn't get it. It's the only time in my life I've ever heard of a dealership giving somebody their deposit back, but I couldn't buy a Corolla just because they couldn't get it or didn't want to. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that now, but since it's winter, it doesn't matter. Maybe in the spring I'll think about a car. Maybe I won't bother. The idea was really more over the gas savings than anything else. You know, it's obviously more expensive to buy a car than not, but it just kills me to spend all this money on gas knowing that it's just getting burned, right? Literally. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate the thought. But there's lots of ways to support people. Like even being here at all helps, right? Because it shows YouTube that the content is worthy of being pushed out farther. More people come along. You know, there's obviously ads that play on monetized channels and things like that when it comes to money. But I really fortunate enough that I work full time, and that really is enough. So the YouTube is not something that is necessary for livelihood or survival or anything like that. Kaz Crafts and More, good to see you here. That's Dave's Adventures wife. She's here from the UK as well. Oh, I see. Yeah, Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve. Yeah, winning a new vehicle would be nice, wouldn't it? Winning the lottery, winning any of that stuff. We've all got our eye on Scratch and PPA, so he's either going to do a premiere today or a video at 12:15, like always. It's a few hours from now. And I'm looking forward to it because it's the first video of the year. And we'll see what he's got in store today. It'd be nice to see him with a big win, especially from some, you know, Christmas tickets or something like that. Ooh, it's fairly warm here too. It's not, I shouldn't say warm, it's not warm, but it's not freezing cold either. Something happened this week where the temperature went back up to 5, 6, 7 degrees Celsius. If I calculate, what is that, 48 degrees Fahrenheit, something like that? I think you double it and add 32. So not freezing, but I think it's going back down this weekend. Apparently it says so. So we'll see. And then thank you, Michael's Adventures. You know, that's somebody who's been a dear friend now for over a couple of years. Geez, it'll be getting on 3 years this summer. And, you know, he's always everywhere he can be. He does a lot of helping people with playlists and stuff. If anybody happens to see this as working on watch hours, Michael's Adventures is a great connection to have. He'll be working on his watch hours too. He's past his 1,100 subscribers, but still working on watch hours for now. And he's got lots of videos. He might have the most videos of anybody in the Tuber Chat family. You know, there's probably something unique you could say about every single creator or channel. And Michael's Adventures has literally got thousands of videos, posts every day for as long as I can remember. Oh, thunderstorms. Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve. You know, as a kid, I used to love those. My grandparents were snowbirds, and that's what we call people here in Canada. There's a thing called the Snowbird Association. And you can, after I think the age of 55, if not 50, you can join this thing, and what happens is a lot of people will buy a place in usually Florida, but let's say somewhere in the States, and then they fly south for the winter, because Canadians are allowed to be in the United States for 1 day less than 6 months. They're trying to extend that to 1 day less than 8 months. But a lot of Canadians go south for the winter. So my grandparents did that. They had a place in Florida, Tampa. I think they were in Daytona. It doesn't matter. Anyway, and then they'd live in a cottage here 3 hours north of Toronto in a really small town called Halliburton. And it's popular in, you know, talking about cottages and things like that. Out in cottage country, we call it. And, you know, that's one thing that can be done. But what I used to do when I would visit my grandparents, and I only, you know, obviously did a couple of times being that far, but as a kid we did, and they would make it special for us. They'd have, like, you know, Christmas in July and all this stuff, because we didn't see them at Christmas, so we have Christmas presents literally in the summer. But when there was a rainstorm, I would, their places had these doors that were sliding doors. We have one on our apartment now, but I used to, if it was going to be a thunderstorm, I'd want to sleep on the floor in a sleeping bag so that I could listen to the storm and see the lightning. Obviously very, very young, but something else. Florida's full. It has to be by now. That was when I was a kid, man. We're talking a long time ago. And then, yeah, Arizona. I was saying to somebody yesterday, I wonder what's going to be next, because it seems like Florida was the thing for a long, long time. It still is. And then Arizona became super popular for a long time for people to move to. But if you could figure out where the next place is going to be, you might be able to do well in real estate then. Yeah, Tony, that makes sense as well. Yeah, that's it. Good Times Homestead. Goodness. So thank you again, everybody. Been on for getting close to an hour now. I got another 6-7 minutes to go. Look at that. We stepped up the treadmill again and it didn't hurt. Isn't that wonderful? Maybe tomorrow we'll do 2.5. Eventually, after a couple weeks, we'll get to the 3.5 I was hoping for, and eventually 4 as well. Because we're just here to walk. I'm not here to push right this second. And if it keeps up, it doesn't matter. It's meant to be a permanent lifestyle change, so there's no rush. North Carolina or Austin, Texas. Yeah, Texas has been getting an influx, it seems, right now. Part of the convoy stuff that was happening up here led into the States, and they did another convoy thing out in Tennessee. And so a few of the YouTubers are down there in Nashville, and now in my circle, my personal circle outside of TuberChat of YouTubers and channels, there are quite a few people who want to visit Nashville very much. Yeah, Fanatic Guide, yes. I'm lucky I have one at home. I don't have one where I work, at least not right now. Maybe I'll think about getting one after we get the place cleared out. It's got too much clutter right now. Oh no, Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve, I'm talking like daily. So for a few days there I was at 2.3. We started this at 2.0 and now it's at 2.4 today. But I realized I couldn't figure out what was going on, why was I sweating so badly yesterday when I'm barely moving? And it's because there's no fan. But we got a fan at home that I can set up right beside the treadmill, and that will alleviate that issue. In the past, I've done well when I've had this stuff at home, but you know, Kristen bought this treadmill a couple of years ago, and I look at it, I walk by it, sometimes I even put things on it. But finally it's getting used again. So like I said, hopefully I'll keep it up, but you guys are making it easier to do that because I look forward to the stream. But I wonder, if it's possible, maybe before the summer I could get a treadmill for the house where I work, or Jeff will, or something like that, just so that we don't have to leave the house. In the past, I've done extremely well when there's been workout equipment in the house. For one period of 2 years, I had a elliptical trainer going. If you were to look back, I forget if that was 2009, 2010 something, but on my Facebook profile, you would see older pictures right before I started working at Virgin Radio. And you could see a real difference because I lost 30 pounds in 2 months, and I was never as overweight as I am now. So I got back down to almost an ideal weight. No muscle or anything, just much leaner than today. Big sense, Tony. Yeah, it didn't occur to me yesterday. I just stood there perplexed. Why is this beating me up so much? It's impossible. Unless the treadmills are not actually going at the same speed, you know, but yeah, that's not it. So tomorrow we'll step it up again, but I'll be here. The plan is to be here. I'll go where I have to go, right? I'd love for the weather to get good. Maybe by the time March and April comes, if we're still doing the streams like this, which I intend to, then I'll get outdoors and do this in different parts of Niagara Falls. It's a beautiful city. For the time that I'm closer to Toronto, maybe we'll find some areas around Toronto I can do this in too. There's obviously a million, so. Yes, hopefully Good Times Homestead with Jen and Steve. Sometime between now and next year is when I wish to do that. It's better done now because I'm not going to have the time again this summer if we run into another situation where we're having a record year, and I can't see that stopping either. So there's two things working for us now. First of all, when the pandemic started, people didn't want us working on their property, right? Nobody wants anybody doing anything. So it was a bit slower. Still full-time work all the time, but not as hectic as this year. So after people skipped out on getting things repaired, now it's a safety issue. So they had to do it the next year. This year, with the inflation that's come on, there's no choice but for everybody to raise their price on everything. So now the fear is, if you don't get it fixed today, how much is it going to cost next year? So all the people who typically like to kick the can forward can't do it anymore. So we'll see. Yeah, actually, Tony, we bring multiple t-shirts when we work on days that we know are going to be hot. So we'll bring, like, let's say 3 t-shirts and just swap them out partway through the day. It's somewhat helpful. Not as putting on something that's been dampened, but you can imagine. So that's the hour. But I'm going to stick around for the 5-minute cool down thing that the treadmill wants to do. And then for me, like I said, it's never hard work. If there is, it's spurts of hard work. But because we tend to do small jobs, it's moving back and forth, sometimes 2 jobs in a day. So there's a lot of driving, prep, supplies, and things like that that have to be dealt with. And it's usually just me and a guy in a truck. That was Travel Fun 69 who came in here earlier. I run his channels for him. He's got 4 now. He does one by himself, but the other 3, let's say. Oh, there he is right there. And then to the bike now. It's time to get home and get on the computer now. And then he had somebody else working with us often this year. So for the last month, for like November, I think it was, or December, I was out usually only 2 days a week instead of 3. And when this April comes around, the intention is to permanently be only out 2 days a week instead of 3. And he'll have either somebody else or a couple other people available that will work as well. And then thank you, BS Speaks Royally. Oh, okay. Yeah, Jeff needs to take the car to the mechanic. So we'll do that in a second. I'm done in a few minutes here. Now, I don't know, I might end up with a surprise today. Maybe my table will arrive today. It doesn't matter. I can't get anything done, edited, and out until the weekend anyway. But we might be able, if we're really lucky, to get that table assembled tomorrow, film on Thursday. Even if Jeff and I can only get 1 video each filmed, we'll have something. The goal is to have a video a week on every channel that does videos, starting this month for the whole year. So we'll see. Oh, is Jeff actually there? Is he around here somewhere? He might be. I didn't see him come in, but he might have, yeah. Where are you? Just come over and say hi. He's actually here. I don't see his car either. I don't know if he's playing with me or not. Anyway, thank you everybody for hanging out. Still got a couple minutes. I'm going to run out that extra 5 minutes today. But I really do appreciate everybody. Oh, there he is, yes. Let me flip that camera if I can. Jeff's over on a bike over there. I didn't see him come in. He comes right in front of me. I got windows right in front of me in the front entrance. But that's okay. So after, I'll get back before him, but I'll be showered and ready to go, and then do what we got to do, and then it's work time. Work time, bro. And again, thank you everybody, because you make it easier for me to, like I said, keep this up, and I really look forward to being here. Tomorrow, I'll move the stream if I have to a different time, but we're expecting to raid into the Stock Explorer after as well. So they're usually on for an hour if I'm right, and sometimes they have StreamYard panelists and things like that. Yeah, working time, Jaden. Not that I'm a workaholic. I just like most of what I do. Or I'm as happy as anybody could be working full time, but I really do actually, and that's been my whole life. I've been pretty lucky in that way. I've been able to find things that I've enjoyed, or for lack of a better term, love doing. So it makes it easy to hold life together in that way too. I used to joke with Jeff, I'm gonna quit all the time. I actually worked with him one summer about 8 years ago, and I hated it so much because I'm, you know, a computer guy, not a pickaxe and shovel type of guy, at least in my own mind. But I never wanted to do it again, and then I needed some work at one point. What are we on? 6 years ago or 7 years ago, whatever it was. And so then I came back to work again, but I don't mind it now, you know, more so because I knew what I was getting into. But you know, half the job is outdoors, half the job's online, so that makes it easy too. So thank you everybody very much. I really do appreciate this. You're keeping me going, and we have to know that it's going to help after a little while. I really think it already is. For those of you keeping score, I did mention yesterday, if not before that, that I was having a lot more general back pain right up until like the third day. Just walking for an hour was enough to alleviate that. So for whatever I've had the last couple of days hasn't been anywhere near what it usually is, and I don't recall having extreme back pain. I don't recall in the last week taking any Advil or Tylenol or anything else for that. So I have to think that it's improving already. Maybe it really does only take that much. But we're back tomorrow. I'll see most of you today on Tuber Chat, and then we'll raid into the Stock Explorer tomorrow morning. So thanks everyone, and I hope you all have a good day. This is the hardest part. I always touch the wrong thing and I can't shut the stream off. The keyboard won't go away.